On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail. Mysteries unfold, treasure maps of gold, voices of the buccaneer and stories so bold. Every ship and crew will tell their tales true, from the silent shadows to the sky so blue.
Make sure your treasure is buried, your parrot fed, and the rum is poured. It's time to set sail on another Patches and Rum podcast, exclusively for members of the History of Pirates channel.
Welcome to another Patches and Rum podcast. How was everybody doing? I've got almost the entire crew, missing one. Hopefully he'll be back soon enough. Our
there we go.
our
Sorry.
Seaman Lee is well missed. So a cheers to you, Seaman Lee.
A cheers to you, Mr. K.
We cheer
You will
to
be
you, sir.
missed. You are missed.
He's not dead.
Yet.
You just got to get him out of Davy Jones' locker.
He's
So,
lost.
you know, what the heck? You ruined the intro, Jay. What?
What?
The intro was great. All right. I learned something, though. Like, like instead of going live and going right into the countdown, because I love it so much that it's like you got to wait a little bit, because that first ad, I think, hits some people. You got to wait for them to at least get the ad out of there. So, one of those things.
Freaking
One of
ass.
those.
Hey.
Yeah, well, I want people to see it. So, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Good to see all you guys in the chat today. We're going over a special Netflix pirate series. It's been around for a few years, something that we always wanted to talk about. Before we begin, Steel Leg of History says, can't wait to start my pirate leg Monday. Be blessed. I hear you're putting the Vindicta sign on your peg leg, good sir.
That's going to be so awesome, dude. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I know. I can't either. That's going to be pretty impressive.
That'd make a good emoji.
iCanalist says, member for 4 months. Mama.
He's been in the rum.
That's been, somebody peed in the water, sir. How do we fix it?
Double rations for all.
He says, yo ho ho. And Jeff Strong. So we have a quick announcement we got to make. We might as well get this thing started early. Finally watching History of Pirates wearing some big Vindicta gear. Did you get yours at Commodore?
No.
I know you're on the other side of the world right now.
Man, I am just green with jealous rage. It's been so awesome, guys, by the way. Thank you for posting all that on Twitter. I've been trying to get to everyone and retweet it. It is so cool seeing you guys show so much support for the Daughter's Revenge. And boy, you guys look great in that gear.
It's incredible. And so I want to update everyone on what happened, because we pushed that beer hoodie. I think they call it the Tailgaters hoodie. We pushed it because we all want that.
Yeah.
What's better than a pirate sitting with a nice bottle of suds, while you're wearing your favorite gear? And we realized many of you got a refund for the Tailgater hoodie. Well, this is why. So I started getting emails, and then the Commodore sends me a text. He goes, hey, what's going on here? So yes, Paul, I'm about to address it right now. I got your email as well. I
am sad.
So
Yeah.
got the email. I text 9line. I say, hey, and I was sending them screenshots of the email. I was like, can you explain to me like what's going on here? And immediately, not just like the second guy, the CEO called me on the phone. Great guy. I've met him several times. He's the guy who put me up in the helicopter. So pretty awesome. He's like, Jay, how's it going, man? I haven't talked to him in a good minute. Usually I work with somebody else named Amanda. and she takes care of everything. So he goes, we messed up. Those tailgater hoodies. We only had limited stock, and we're completely sold out, and we might not get any more for some time, for like several months, because they get it from people. They always work within American distributors, stuff like that. And they're very popular. So he's like, we're going to do something for you that we normally wouldn't do, because you didn't really sell the 1,000 units, which I totally respect. That's how they do business. You know, they do business that way. So we didn't hit the 1,000 units. And they said, well, we're going to permanently put it on your store, and it's going to stay up there for some time. So tell your community, tell your fans, tell everyone, tell whoever that if they still want to get it, we're going to leave it up. This was a complete shock to me. If they had just told me, hey, we had to refund because we ran out, I would have been like, I understand. No problem. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Let's just keep it moving. But they went above and beyond. So you can get the combo. You can get the hat. You can get the zip up. You can get the women's tee. And they have the regular Vindicta hoodie.
Right.
Long sleeve, and so now you can get more, which is kind of a good thing, because
just not the beer hoodie.
Big fan of the long sleeve tee.
I want to get some more anyway, because I don't have a long sleeve.
Yeah, I didn't get a long sleeve.
It feels really good.
I'm gonna buy
and
it
I
now.
probably will end up getting a regular hoodie. I do have the zip up, but you know, you can never have too many. So
this is good news for me, because I spill everything on myself. So huzzah.
Sean says 1,000 each, 1,000 total. We didn't quite hit 1,000 total, but maybe if like 200 of you bought the, holy crap, Raider, bought the 200 of you buy tonight, then maybe we'll hit that number. So, you know, one of those things. But they were very, like, I didn't expect this. This is shocking. They never do this. They did it for us. I love this company. So if you still want to pick something up after you got your refund, or you missed it, it's going to be up for a little while. I'm going to be pushing it all until the book drops. GJJ was another one who got a refund. You know, we saw his tweet. So there you go. So the link is in the pinned comment. Feel free to check it out. And there we have it. And Commodore, good news for you. Let me put you in the front here.
Souls.
You got souls for your shit. Holy,
you want to hear something crazy though?
Ship.
That's driving me nuts. My dad ordered a shirt, and he lives farther than I do towards the coast, and he's already got it. What did I do? Is it the souls? Give me some more. We got some more
get
souls.
the anyway, shout out Tyler from Nine Line. Thank you so much for making that happen. All right, hold on here. All right. You've already got over 100 souls collected.
The green track.
I don't even know, like, what? Hold on. All right, hold on. One at a time.
Okay.
Deep breath here. 50 souls.
Hooray!
On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
Yo!
Mm-hmm.
I know we always try to get 300 souls, so there's 50. We had Lulu Blue says time to talk about people in their fancy boats.
Oh, I.
Mountain Mutt for 5. Still swabbing. The mop smells like Jay's feet.
Hey, it's a fungus.
I caught a fungus in
There's a fungus among us.
somewhere in Jamaica we haven't identified yet. We've got Llama Pajamas. Also gifted 5 more souls to the Commodore, which I really appreciate. Cheers to you.
Welcome to the crew. Now get to work.
We have Doug B saying, I offer 50
Doug!
more souls to the crew. Commodore, that's 50. No, that's
100 and some odd.
Help us out here,
105.
Captain.
Yeah, give me a second. Keep going.
On the waves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
That's
55.
50.
Keep looking through the list.
No,
There's
that's
another-
50 from Doug. 50. I know, but we got to go one at a time.
It's a running
Right.
total. You're supposed to be the
Yeah,
bookkeeper.
I've
Yeah,
got it. I got
So
it.
we got
old man.
105. All right.
Takes him a long time.
TJJ
to
says I
count.
blame the king guy. Yeah, I
Aye.
would blame him too. He's supposed to be the record keeper. I don't know. Spider Unlimited, Blackbeard's tips burned in our brains.
Mm.
Let's
We don't
see how
talk about
Queen
that.
Finds that pretty funny. I don't know. I Canalist with another 5 souls.
go.
Thank you so much.
Take what you can. Give nothing back.
Love it. Raider again with another 100. So I don't know where he's getting all these people. Where are you finding all these people for the ship, good sir? We need a bigger boat, or do we just have 2, 3?
On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
Captain, that gives us a total of.
I think you got one more to look. You got 2 more to look at,
We
buddy.
got a couple more, but it's a running total. Like I need to know, like now, like he's.
170. 160.
Wait, what? 10 people's a big difference between getting a sloop and a war galleon.
Yeah,
good
I'm
sir.
at
I
the
don't
bottom
know.
of the list.
Hey, Commodore,
Stop making excuses.
160 souls.
we need to get Mr. Gibbs here. He's really like.
He's about to find a
GJJ is gifted another 20
Go!
souls.
Shout out GJJ.
Thank you, GJJ, after the mishap of.
Welcome to the crew. Now get to work.
And I don't know what's going on with Dougie B and Raider, but he also has found another 50
Another?
souls to bring them up into
200.
the. Everybody lift your glasses. It's time to see what.
On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
If only somebody would have told me about this video clip sooner.
I swear to Bob.
Paul Taylor with a Canadian 10 says, thanks for the update, Jay. I was going to suggest you switch to your Canadian Bear outfit and send me a hoodie, but this is a good alternative. Paul, thank you for being
Shout out, Paul.
understanding and a customer. Cajun Corey gifted 1 soul, which gives us a grand total of
231.
Let's go.
31.
I start every stream as a captain, but I need to be made a Commodore, and 200 souls suits me just fine.
We're only 76 away from the grand total record.
You guys are incredible.
Yeah, that's
This is
unbelievable.
insane. Every single time. You guys are insane.
I canalist for 5, sir. I finished cleaning the brig. However, I found evidence the Commodore may have been using the shackles for extracurricular activities. That's not up to me. Good.
Into the break.
Yeah.
Into the break.
Looks like you're not going to make it, good sir.
How do you swim with a cannonball? Show
What
me.
the Commodore does in his what he does there is his own business.
In
We
Commodore
never-
time.
We do hear strange sounds though. Llama pajamas for 2
This is
says hi.
for?
Hi. Oh my
What's up, Llama?
gosh. What the freak, Raider? What the freak?
Ray.
On the With stories we prevail. The history of pirates. Our anchors never fail.
That gives us a grand total, Captain.
281 souls.
281.
And Diz the Jizz just gifted 20 more souls. Yo!
I was not expecting that one.
301
I'm getting all
souls have
hyped up.
reported for duty.
We have just cracked the record.
321 souls have reported for duty.
Diz the Jizz, thank you so much. And Dougie B, what the heck are you doing, man?
Let's
And
go.
we're 15 minutes in. Raise your
On the airwaves we sail. With stories we prevail. The history of pirates. Our anchors never fail.
John Ambler with 10 gifted memberships. What the freak?
John.
We set a record here, man. I don't.
Welcome to the crew. Now get to work.
What is the total number of souls here?
331 souls, my lord.
My lord.
31.
It felt like a fit.
331.
Cheers
Hey, y'all,
to you.
congrats on over 300 souls. Thank you, man. I'm
Cheers to the crew.
trying to get emotional here, but yeah,
Now
thank you.
Get to work.
We're also live on Facebook and X.
Huh? Oh.
Doug B says, "Let's get this fleet underway." All right, what are we running here with 331 people?
We are going to run possibly one of the greatest pirate docudrama
Sure.
that has ever existed. I still remember the day
Oh man,
when
what kind of ship do we need here with 331? Wait, forget it. John Ambler says, "I volunteer tribute, sir. I cook a mean pancake. Thank you." Freaking Corn Boy gifted 10
Corn
more
Boy.
souls to the channel.
What's up, Corn Boy?
What the heck? Corn.
Welcome to the crew. Now get to work.
And Chelsea, look at that avatar.
Ooh, love it.
Gifted another 5
Let's go,
memberships.
Take what you can. Give nothing back.
And it is a French narrow-sterned man of war.
What is that a grand total of?
331 souls reporting aboard, sir.
Might be a
Darn.
little crowded.
347 souls.
I was about to
reporting
say your
aboard.
number was off there.
Yeah.
347?
Yep.
Well, hey, if we get to 800, we can take the victory.
What the freak? We only have 200 people
We
watching.
don't need 800. We can crew that.
Wait,
We're pirates.
we've got more gifted memberships than people watching.
They're souls.
Has that ever happened in the history of YouTube?
Yeah, it happened 4 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
347. Got my hoodie and shirts. They're so nice.
Oh, I love to hear it.
Man,
Make sure you
thank you.
post it on Twitter or somewhere or something. Tag us. Let us know.
Please.
Posted on Blue Sky. X-Wing is really active there.
Aye.
Icanalus, after finding shackles in your stay, has decided to give some tribute by gifting several single souls. That's another 2.
Oh, gosh.
He's just trickling them in. before we leave for
349.
349, sir.
349.
What ships are we taking out of the yard for this?
Ooh,
Wait, he did
man.
another one.
We
He's
are
doing this
all
on
on our
purpose.
own.
350.
350.
All right, what are
Good
we doing?
job.
with
You can
350?
math.
That'll be enough for 3 galleons.
3 galleons?
Bookkeeper, we can man a galleon on 100 men, 110 men.
Assuming you didn't just call me a bookkeeper. Sure.
Bookie, your job.
Captain.
Or would you rather be the cookie?
I'm the helmsman.
Diz the Jizz for 2. Q. Question for the Lego
Oh.
build: Queen Anne or Black Pearl first? Black Pearl.
Pearl.
Queen
Black
Anne's
Pearl.
Revenge Lego build is not the real Queen Anne's Revenge.
No,
It's a phony.
I want the Black Pearl so bad. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it is very expensive. Oh my gosh. John Ambler with another
John.
360 souls, my
Our
cat.
anchors never fail.
and Epic Mike says,
Meek.
I wanted to feel,
360.
Mike, you ever want to join us, Mike, for one of these streams? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll let you know. You have to like you could do the research. This of all streams would probably be a better one because he's a great movie critic person. You are special, sir.
I think I gotta say, I think we've got enough that even Seaman Lee can get promoted to captain.
Well,
Welcome to the crew. Now get to work.
I can't for 2 wanted an even number. Respect.
Love
What
it.
is our grand total, Captain?
365.
365.
there's one for every day of the year. It's the year of the pirate.
It's the year of the pirate. Holy crap. Dougie B for a 20. The Lost Pirate Kingdom was fun to watch. Got my hat, long and short sleeve tee and zip up hoodie. Awesome gear.
Let's
And look at
go.
that. The guy donated tons of souls. Listen, Raider has sent me another. I don't know how many Raider you got. I don't know what number, but there's like another 100 Vindicta stickers to give out.
Nice.
So I'm going to be doing that as well. And I got to say thank you because just on a personal level between everybody here, all the money that's made on these live streams and for the shirt sales is going into the Daughter's Revenge project and the swords and all that stuff. So artists and editors and all that stuff ain't cheap. So
Turns out it costs money.
So I appreciate it so much that you guys are donating, having a lot of fun with us. That's all we wanted to do is like, aren't you tired of talking about Snow White?
Hmm.
You know?
What?
Isn't
What
it
is
time like to
that?
talk about something different?
Let's talk about
What
Mercury.
is Snow White?
So thank you. Thank you, Doug, for the 20. Steel Lake, man, it's 23 minutes in. Steel Lake of History gave a gift.
Let's go.
Gonna get a pirate leg.
367.
Shut up, Bobby.
366. They had
And,
367.
Oh, Panda Simone.
Yes, Panda.
That's-
I was waiting like Anna
That's my homie. What's up, Panda?
has become a member. She is it a she?
Yeah.
She has
Is
volunteered her
is-
services on the ship. You have to make sure. You never know.
Because you care so much about that.
Hi, Panda.
What is our grand total of souls?
367 souls reporting aboard.
How much? 367?
367.
What do we?
Lord have
Hey,
mercy.
hold on. We got the freak.
368.
Does the
What's
Sea
up,
Hag
Mongoose?
Queen get her own ship?
Why do you write this
Yes.
down? Jay? I
Right.
got it.
I already had one. Now I got to take care of 2 ships.
Yeah.
Who
I
wants
can do
to who wants to go on the ship with the Sea Hag Queen or me or the Commodore or the Captain? Who?
Yeah. What's the vote?
Yeah, chat.
think-
Let us
Who's
know.
going with who?
You sailing with Wicked? You sailing with Jay?
To do 1, 2, 3, 4? I don't. My camera's reversed.
Grand Potato
There
for
you
2.
go.
Stop blowing holes in my ship.
I love that.
Yeah. Mountain Mutt says, hi, Wicked. I guess we know where. Listen, let me tell you
We
something.
found
Hi.
Wicked.
Out of all the captains here, you don't want to sail with Wicked. She runs a mean ship. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Tight
Yeah.
outfit.
There's a lot of torture going on, but some of you guys might like that. I don't know.
There's
Raider
also a lot
with
of
another
chicken.
20. Lift your glasses, boys and girls.
On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
How have I not been gifted a membership yet?
Are you already a member?
No, it ran out.
Mine too.
Well, John Ambler brought in another 5 soul. Is this
Let's
going to be the
go.
last?
Take what you can. Give nothing back.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
393 souls reported.
393.
Wow.
We almost have 400 souls and only 250 people watching. If
like
you
my
did not
crew.
get a gifted membership, that only means you haven't turned it on.
or opened the channel in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, or you better check with YouTube as to why you're not receiving gifted memberships.
I don't think it's caught up
So-
yet. So just wait. By the end of the stream, you might have it.
So I don't want to be that guy, but we do have a show to talk about.
I know, but we have to.
That's too
we're
bad
almost there.
because we've got 10 more gifted memberships.
Golly, C&D Designs for $5. I need stickers, Jay. Hail Chat, X-Wing, Wicked, Kings, and Old Drunk 3PO.
Hail
Mods
CD.
rocking strong, and we appreciate you. Vindicta. Look at that avatar, Commodore.
I love it. Yeah. And nice.
He's
nice
just like,
farm.
stop giving us money. We want to talk about the
that's
show.
not what I said.
What did you
I
say?
do math.
He runs a
What's
tight
this on your
ship.
books?
I know. I can't says, sir, I finished scraping the barnacles from the hull, but I
Hmm.
found evidence Kings may have backed
Whoa.
the ship into someone else.
So when
Hey,
I
hey,
asked
hey.
you about that ding on
Hey,
the stern,
hey,
and you
hey,
said no,
hey,
it was
Hey,
probably
I
wicked.
Catalyst, that was between
what?
you and me.
'Cause I'm a
You said
girl?
you keep it
Come
quiet.
on.
Aye.
You mean he squished another human being and left the left
Why
the
can I-
remains and just said no one will notice? The waves will wash it off eventually.
Why
Well,
can I
you
just
know,
picture Wicked backing up a ship and hit something and you just, sorry.
Oopsie.
that's an asparagus.
Yeah.
Master for $5 says, what the heck? I'm confused now because of all it was on Mondays. I had to move it. We had to do a little shuffling, and it might move again.
Yeah,
Because
I'm very needy.
we miss Seaman Lee. That's all. Oh my gosh. Raider with another 10.
Raider!
What is this now?
413.
I'm gonna have to
And
get
Panda, man.
413.
Panda Simone with another
13
with
souls.
10.
Panda!
John
Let's
Ambler gave
go.
another one. What's the grand
414
total here?
souls.
414.
All right, we're stressing my managerial skills here. What
All right, raise the glass because I don't know what to do.
On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
C&D Designs has become a member.
Let's go.
You know what you get for being an awesome member? You get fun emojis to play with, and you get to watch the past live streams.
I play with my emojis.
That's right. My good
Was
dude.
this
all
the
this
goal
cheering.
all along, everybody?
Ha! I just left F&T, and now I'm playing some.
Assassin's
That's
Creed 4.
4.
Yeah.
Black Flag.
That's Black Flag, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Best one.
Master for $5. Tortured by a hot pirate sounds good.
Oh, there you go. Wicked. There's your first crew
Well, I
member.
guess
A
you know.
cat with a hat.
She likes to brand her mates, so just saying. You know,
Woo.
want a hot poke. Mike for 2. 400 crew needs a 60 gun 4th rate ship of the line.
Just about.
Oh,
we're,
we're
halfway,
pirates.
to the first.
We could
first
do better than a 4th. We're pirates.
You could probably man the victory with
You
400.
could 100% do it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're not
You're
going to be
not
able to
gonna
run
be-
gun crews and stuff at the same time, but
You're
we
not
could
going to
sail
be
it.
great, but you could do it.
Now the Mutts is y'all broke the gifties. Probably because John Ambler again for 5.
Oh,
And Donna Hall
what's up, Donna?
gifted a membership as well.
Thank you,
What
Donna.
is that
Good to
grand
see you.
total, sir?
421 souls.
Oh my god!
Donna,
Oh,
good
Lord.
job.
What is going on?
All right, what kind of fleet are we running here with all these people?
Well, I
Biggin.
tell you what, if you share the screen, we could be running a fleet sort of like a treasure fleet. It's what set off the whole golden age of piracy.
Inappropriate
King.
behavior by the bookkeeper. Put him in the brig.
How much food are you cooking there, Chicken Queen, who cooks all the chicken on the Sea of Thieves?
A whole
It's
bunch.
Sunday choice.
Yeah.
Wow. That would
Wow.
take forever.
I'm making a bucket of chicken. Like
400 chicken breasts.
Yes, 400 breasts.
Yeah.
Something like that, Brian.
Speaking of breasts, if you like
Yeah.
the show, The Secret Pirate Kingdom. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, before we get into
The
it,
Lost Pirate Kingdom.
we're all gonna take a quick breath.
Aye.
Thank you
And a
for
cheers.
all the love,
to this-
everyone.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna show you a little sneak peek of the Daughters Revenge.
Sir, they're here.
So be it.
Forgive me, Father.
There you go.
Yes,
Whew.
it will be in color.
Yeah, that was just a scratch. Like they're not even shaded in or anything. So there's another video that we just posted not too long ago that has a little more animation to it. So things are coming along.
Do we have
very
that?
nicely? It's uploaded as a regular video. So yeah. So if you want to check that out, that is in the I think it's the Daughters Revenge playlist that we have here on the channel. Can't wait for the topic to start. Wow. Lulu's been
No, Lulu.
Me too, Lulu.
she's been a little upset with me for a while now. So
You
Oh,
just need some of my chicken. It's okay. I got
What'd
you,
you do?
Lulu.
don't peeve off Blue.
No.
all right, so I'm gonna play the teaser trailer. The Lost Pirate Kingdom can be found on Netflix. It is a Netflix series that came out around in 2021.
Mhm.
And we're probably only going to get through like the first 2 episodes, maybe, and we'll have to continue these till we finish the series. So there we go. Are we ready?
Ready?
Oh,
There we go. If you've never watched this, we highly recommend.
The 12-year war against England leaves Spain broke.
Thousands of privateers lost their livelihood.
This is a time of horrendous suffering.
The Spanish fleet, laden with gold and silver, is wrecked, scattering a fortune.
This is like discovering oil.
I see no act against the Spanish in that.
And so, the golden age of piracy begins.
It's just the latest report sent back from Jamaica. The pirates are getting bolder.
Cut the lines! Cut the lines!
These swashbuckling outlaws bring murder and mayhem to the high seas.
The brutality and the bullying and the predation of many of the captains that are known. You can't speak at length about Charles Vane without the word psychopath.
Identify yourself.
You don't know me.
My name is Blackbeard!
For the first time, pirates actively engaged English shipping.
King George.
But they don't care about us out here.
The pirate menace was becoming an existential threat to the Empire.
We have all lost to these heathen pirates.
It appears they are favoring slaving vessels.
You are now subject to the laws of piracy!
White men consorting with savages must stamp this cancer out.
And Bonnie, men take what they want when they want. If it were me, I'd pirate for the rest of my days.
Hoist the black flag! NASA, the new pirate republic!
So
It
good.
really is great. Honestly, I really wish they would take everyone they cast for this, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 people, and make an actual show.
Yeah,
I
like a
think
Black Sails type
yeah,
show.
everyone does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Hornet
Yeah.
Gold, I think, is my favorite one of the entire thing, though.
Yeah,
the
this
guy who plays Blackbeard.
it was really this teaser trailer is actually really impressive.
Yeah, it was good.
So this is one of the shows, and I'll take that off the screen in just a second. Just fair warning, this is rated mature audiences. There is slight nudity.
Yeah,
in
I
it
got
as
it.
well,
I got it.
and violence. Well, I'm just saying, like, you don't be like, oh, I'm gonna watch it with my kids. Like,
Yeah, don't watch
probably
this one with the kids.
Don't watch it with the kids.
Probably
and boobies and violence and
Boobies and Blackbeard.
yeah,
Literally.
And Mercury. So
and Mercury.
Why is Wicked very quiet tonight? I'm not sure.
Sorry. I'm letting the boys talk.
This series was written and it came off this book right here, The Republic of Pirates. They used The Republic of Pirates for a guide to make this series, and the author is featured. He's one of the historians that is actually featured in the show. He's one of the older gentlemen, not the guy with the long hair, but anyway, his name is Colin. I highly recommend, if you care about pirate history, this is the book to read right here. And I'm going to go into a little bit of
Is it
what the freak, Brock?
It's a possum farting fire.
Holy crap.
On the airwaves we sail, with stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
Brock, Captain.
Aye.
471 souls have reported.
470. That is a massive record. I don't know anybody who has gotten almost 500 memberships with a stream of only 280. This is insane.
Awesome. Y'all are incredible.
Beautiful. So
Remember to stay hydrated, drink water. Brock, thank you. All of you, thank you. Holy crap, I'm blown
and
away.
Oranges.
Yes.
Rachel Hill gifted a membership. Thank you, Captain.
400. That's including the 471. Yep.
Chef Nick Nero, Drunk 3PO trifecta for me today. That's 3 streams. Thank you, brother.
Attaboy.
iCanalyst for 5 says, sir, I finished taking inventory on supplies, but I found evidence Wicked got into the ale. We're missing all of it.
It was
all
me,
of
sir.
it.
I blamed her.
There were 27 barrels.
It was me. It's delicious.
Wizard Man says Vindicta looks awesome. How long is it going to be? About 130 pages.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we all
Brock's
get like
just-
early, right?
Yeah. Remember to stay hydrated and drink water. Thank you, Brock. Comic Stats is Ahoy crew. Captain, I'm big, so I count as 2. Wow.
2 cuts.
The memberships have stopped coming through on the channel. Like, you're giving them, but they're...
It'll catch up eventually, I think. Probably.
You'll probably get an email like tomorrow that says, you've been gifted a sub.
Yeah.
Someone at YouTube is watching this like, wait a minute.
Jay, you brought up the book. So you read it and obviously have now watched the show. Does it tell the story kind of like the show does in kind of a...
I want to say it takes 15% of the in-depth study.
Oh, wow.
And puts it in the show. So it's basically...
So it is an actual book. It's not kind of like a story.
No. Yeah, it's written like for history purposes.
Okay.
So, but he does it in somewhat of a story mode. So I loved it, and I actually messaged the author about coming on and doing a an interview. So that could happen later on this year. But I want to say this:
awesome.
He wrote this book not to so much counter a general history of pirates. General History of Pirates came out in 1720, or roughly around that.
There's two editions. One is in I think 26. I think the second edition is in 32.
So the one that came out in 26, and this is where the whole romancing of being a pirate started with this book. And so when he was on another podcast, Colin, and they asked him about the research for this book, and he said, I went to England into their deepest library, and he was like, you ever see like Lord of the Rings when Gandalf went to this old library with scrolls everywhere and he just started playing? He goes, that's what it looked like. He goes, I had to put on gloves and I only had a few hours. So I just took thousands of pictures with a digital camera and I was able to take those pictures home and then read through that. And how he was able to pinpoint, because we have different documents of Sam Bellamy was in Jamaica on this date because somebody wrote about it, in the paper or something like that back then. He was able to he got experts where he was able to take these people that are experts in marine time. Is that what it's called? Maritime, excuse me. And by using the weather and the way the ships were and the current and all that stuff on where they probably would be if they actually left when the historical dates said that, they left the dock on this day and they traveled up north, it would approximately take them this long to get there.
Had 6 knots and a good northern wind and this ship.
That's
crazy.
These experts went back in time and they were able to go through weather reports as well and almost pinpoint exactly how they were able. I'm like, that is some crazy research.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to be right. He wanted to make sure, when Woodes Rogers was over here and all that stuff, they wanted to make sure, because that's the problem about the history of old is you just rely on a lot of stuff, and a lot of people have taken this book and chopped it up, saying this guy might have sat in a bar in the Bahamas and talked to a guy that looked like King's advisors and said, tell me about the pirates. And he goes, tell you a story, young lad. And then, but he was also able to, some of the documents that he had, he actually had some of the, what are they specifically called? The boat records of these
captain's log?
The captain's logs that are in England Library. And
that's crazy.
So that's what's kind of interesting about this is it's very likely that both the logs and manifests in general are pretty dang accurate, because not only would they get in trouble if the owner of the ship or the admiral found out that they were doctoring logs, but they had it was almost like a sense of honor to keep the truth in their logs. And so when you say that his name's Colin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When Colin went through and could actually read these logs and know what they're carrying, know when what headwinds they met, when they met a slow point, when there was no wind. It's the data is probably pretty spot on.
He did say in a podcast that the logs from Woodes Rogers are still pretty clear and intact.
Oh, that's cool.
And that that has some of the best information, because he had to answer to the king, So
well, because the king, George I, was the one that actually said, "Get me Woodes Rogers."
Yeah, go hunt them down.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so cool to call up, the British Library, the National Archives, and be like, I'm writing a book. You mind if I look at some old stuff?
Yeah.
You got 4 hours. Just don't touch anything.
I'm thinking a couple people here should take a trip over.
You have to wonder, they must have some kind of do you have a PhD in Caribbean history?
I'm sure he had to fill out something.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like when you try to get.
I think if we were we ran a YouTube channel, can we go? They'd be like, get out of here. Go away.
We really like pirates. Can we just take a peek?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you guys talk, but the first episode of the Lost Pirate Kingdom is called The Golden Age. And in the first episode of the Lost Pirate Kingdom, it sets the stage for the rise of piracy during the early 18th century, a period known as the Golden Age of Piracy. I'm reading a summary that I wrote. The episode introduced the political and social conditions that led to the creation of a pirate haven in Nassau, Bahamas. So it starts with the War of the Spanish Succession. It started
Which
in
pretty much
1701.
every single one of our podcasts has started with.
Yeah.
I think we have one that hasn't started with, well, he was probably a sailor during the War of the Spanish Succession.
Yeah, I mean, it birthed a massive quantity of people from England making their way to the Caribbean, the tips of South America, all the way into Florida, and then up the coast of the eastern United States. Now, these people would not have gotten there if it weren't for that war, most likely.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So one of the things I thought was incredible was it kind of starts by telling you that the British Navy was at the height of it. I thought they said 17,000, but that seems high. So I think they said 1,700.
Well, the British Navy at that point, says it in the episode, was at 50,000 sailors.
Yes. Okay. So, so then, 17 now. So 1,700 ships. And then when they downgraded after the war, I think they said about 400 ships. And they had issued 1,769 letters of marque. So think about, you've got 800
Wait, hold on.
people.
Chat doesn't know what we're talking about yet.
Yeah. Let me wrap that. Kings is such a data guy. It's great.
Yeah.
All right. So Spain and France had an alliance.
Right.
Spain was in South America and they found a lot of silver and some gold. And they're like, we're going to take over the world. England was scared. They didn't know what to do. They're like, we got to stop them. So they said, whoever's got a ship.
So yeah, they sided with the Dutch, and I think like Hungary, and they all basically started fighting Spain and France. Over there, it was called the War of the Spanish Succession. Over here in the U.S., it was called the First French and Indian War. And then that lasted for about 12 years, from I think it was about 1698 to about 1710.
Yeah, so England didn't have a navy, so they just said, we're going to hire pirates and call them privateers, and you keep what you kill.
They had a navy.
They had the strongest and largest navy in the world. They just
Spain was freaking rich because they found all that silver and gold.
Yeah,
and they
were
like,
couldn't get down here because they were too busy. Because this is the issue that Britain has had for 700 years. They are a very small island with a lot of stuff everywhere else, and so their need to protect themselves requires their navy to stay very close, within about 200 miles of Britain. In fact, most battles between British and any other ship take place about 200 miles off the coast of Britain, with the Battle of Trafalgar being the one exception.
So long story short, the war is over. All these privateers are now unemployed, and they're stationed all over the Americas.
They're stuck.
Yeah,
They
have nothing to do, and like England's like, didn't you guys raid some ships, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can keep that, you're good.
We're not doing
and then
that
all
anymore.
of a sudden, Spain and their treasure fleet with tons of gold and silver, one massive haul with tons of ships, were like, we got this big load coming, we'll be all right.
Well, because
They need
the
some
war
money,
had
man. They're
bankrupt.
broke.
So that the treasure fleet was supposed to sail at about 1700, and the war had continued to wage for another decade. So that treasure fleet had sat harbored for 10 years, and Spain had gotten poorer and poorer and poorer, and finally they had to pay everything off. They had become one of the poorest nations in Europe, and so they finally said, sail. And what happened?
And when do they sail? Hurricane
Hurricane
season.
season.
Hurricane,
Whoa, this
hurricane,
is
yeah.
smart.
There's a reason why we have a term around these parts of Florida called the Treasure Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because one of the biggest treasures of all time, all the ships crashed.
I think they
And
said 14 million pesos at that point, which equates to hundreds of millions of
It's
dollars today.
$420 million today.
Just
all right, so that's just sitting there. No one
Yeah.
knows this. No one knows it's done.
Hurricane slams the whole treasure fleet up against the east coast of Florida and in the shallows too. Because if that had sunk in the deep, we don't get the golden age of piracy, I don't think. But since it sinks in the shallows, people are able to recover this stuff.
Yeah, but nobody knows that it's sunk. So then we're introduced to a one Benjamin Honeygold.
Honeygold.
We went over him last week, where people were looking to him for leadership. And he's just like, and he's in Jamaica at this point. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, what are we gonna do?
Because he's been sailing underneath Jennings this entire time as a privateer.
Well, not underneath Jennings. He and Jennings were both privateers. He and Jennings didn't really like each other. Well, I guess we'll save that for later. But yeah, they're just sitting in Jamaica and saying, like, we can't do anything. Well, what if we go rob ships? You can't do it. They're still under the nose of the British Navy in Jamaica. And so he says, all right, well, let's get out of here. Let's go leave. Let's go somewhere else.
In the meantime, Henry Jennings shows up, who is a vicious plantation owner who treated slaves horrible. And that's how he used to instill fear into anyone that was around him. Henry Jennings was also a privateer who knew the local government in Jamaica very well. And he had his, I don't know what his rank was on his ship, but he had Charles Vane with him. And Charles Vane was...
It looked like first lieutenant almost.
Yeah, he was insane. He loved to torture. And it was told in the first episode that Charles Vane was a witness to pirates being hung that spoke up against the crown and all that stuff when he was a child. So
yeah, London was brutal at that point. And I don't remember where I was about to go with that. I had a really good point that was super important to the story. Do.
And then we also got our first look at Wicked Virtue's favorite, Sam Bellamy.
He was my favorite. Yes.
Wow.
So because he's okay, so for the ladies in the chat, you'll understand this. I know you guys like Sam Bellamy too, because he seems more of he wasn't so vicious, and he was just about like, I'm gonna take the gold, but I'm not gonna kill you unless you fight me back. He was more fair. So that's a reason why I like him so much. But he seems like he was just like dashing and handsome. So for the ladies, and then the whole love story with Mary, her name was Mary, right? That he left behind.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mary.
Okay. He falls in love with a girl and he wants to do right by her and make money. So that's why he runs off and does the pirate life. But
it's a Disney story.
It is.
Sam
He doesn't
Bellamy
make
lives
it.
the Disney story.
Yeah, but then
I
he
mean,
doesn't make it back. So it's that's the tragedy of it. But it's a very romantic.
In the
story.
series, he was approached because he was a great sailor, and he turned it down at first. He was just kind of like,
well, he didn't think that it
what am I going to
would
do?
be what his father-in-law would want him to do.
Yeah.
Is that when
he can't
when
be a
he's-
villain.
When he gets whipped, when he get the lashings, whatever, is that because he turns it down? What was that?
No, so when he was making out with his girlfriend and she goes, "Oh, your back's all messed up with whip marks." That whole point in the episode, they talked about, hey, we want you guys to remember that pirate life is a brutal life. You got whipped for no reason. You people got killed. You got your eye poked out. You got your hand cut off. It was a horrific life. It wasn't like what people make it out to be, like romance. They took about 10 minutes in the episode to show, like, if you weren't doing your job, if you weren't clean, if you weren't listening to the Commodore, you could easily been whipped to death, like all that stuff. And it's just that's where they were going.
And
with
that was just ship life in general that they were
ship
talking
life.
about.
Yeah,
it wasn't even piracy because he got those, whatever they're referring there, those lashes. That was just on a merchant ship. That was just life at sea because he hadn't made the decision yet. So yeah, it was no cakewalk. So yeah, the boys make it to Nassau.
Yeah, so Hornigold decides that he's gonna establish a pirate. Horny Gold. Is that how you say it?
Hornigold.
Or nah, not knee.
I don't know. Whatever. However.
Try to help.
Let me know whenever you want me to share your screen, Kings. I could see it below deck. But he decides he's going to establish a pirate haven in the Bahamas. So they pack up and they head over with the flying gang, and they're like, all right, well, we're going to plunder some ships. We're not going to bust the English, but the Bahamas is a central location where probably the Spain and French will probably have to go through. So we'll set up camp and start our own little country right there.
If you want to share it real quick.
Yeah.
So it's obviously it's not right now, but in the show it actually shows the trade routes. And from Havana, one of the routes was up here, and this is about where the treasure fleet sank right here. And so one of the routes was right up here, which is why if you remember the map that Jay pulled up during Hornigold, and it showed where like all the different pirates hunted. They were all basically up and down this coast and around the Bahamas right here, because this is where they would sail in this general area. So that and Hornigold knew this because of his time working with the British Navy. So that's where everyone was basically assigned, was to basically, if they didn't get him down here, they'd get him up here. And then they'd all make it back to Nassau. And, eventually the goods would all end up getting shared.
So that's where they made their port, right there in Nassau. Henry Jennings didn't like that. So remember, we're only on episode 1. We have like 30 minutes left. So we're trying.
Hornigold did not like each other.
No, they did not.
So Jennings shows up and he's just like, what are you doing here, man? Like, I'm going to be in charge. And he ends up stealing Benjamin Hornigold's ship.
Yeah,
as a
so
way
he shows
of
up.
showing weakness.
He shows up because he's really angry at, and this is kind of it's almost like a patriotic moment for Jennings. One of the probably 2 he's ever had. And because he's upset that Britain is just kind of letting Spain take control of the Caribbean. Because Spain keeps attacking British merchant ships, but King George is like, no, I don't want to do it.
The Costa Garda. So the English stop attacking Spanish ships, but the Spanish Costa Garda, which is just like a band of marauding pirates, basically, or privateers, I guess you should say at that point, is still whooping the crap out of the English down there.
Yep,
taking ships, and the Englishmen are like, they're doing it.
So the Port Royal governor basically tells Jennings, I mean, if I don't find out about it, like, I'll send you down there to get Hornigold. If you take a Spanish ship, it's not really my fault. Go do it.
Yeah.
And obviously, that doesn't sit very well with everybody. So, like you said, he shows up in Nassau. Sorry, Wiki, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I like this, how they had the scene play out when he does show up. And then Hornigold is like about to start fighting him, and then Bane comes up from behind with the sword, knife, whatever he had, but he's just like, nah, we're not gonna do this. So he backs up and then goes to sleep. I could just imagine this. So you wake up in the middle of the night, someone's like, hey, your ship. He's like in his pajamas, and then Jennings is just standing on his ship.
Car.
Your car's rolling down the hill, dude.
Yeah, and that the people on Nassau did not like that, Hornigold's followers, because it, like Jay said earlier, weak. So, but he, he handles it. We'll get to that.
Well, the word got out that there'd be treasure sunken, a lot of it, and Jennings, he's like, well, we're gonna go get this. We're gonna go get it, whatever it takes. So he starts like stopping some ships and torturing people, to try to get information on where the treasure fleet might be. And then the word gets to Sam Bellamy saying, hey, look, there's enough money there. You could take care of your Bonnie Lass, just come out with me. Let's just get a couple gold things and then you can go back,
Changed his mind real quick.
Yeah. And so right before Bellamy left, he left a little present for Mary. And in a very Christian conservative town.
With Scarlet Letter conservative.
Yeah.
So the one
burn witches
newspaper
there too,
in all of North America reports the loss of the Spanish treasure fleet, and they report it at like I think it was 120,000 pieces of eight being like collected by Hornigold's crew. That like everything they had found and all the stuff that they had stolen from other ships that were looking for it were up to 120,000 pieces of eight. And so the governor's son actually approaches San Bellamy and says, "Hey, you're a pretty good sailor. So let's go on down and get us some money because we can't let him take everything. We deserve some of this stuff."
There's no law against scavenging.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where the episode kind of ends. Episode 1. Then we go right into episode 2, which is called The Pirate Republic.
And I feel like it's important to say, as this is all kind of going along, Hornigold is doing his own thing. He's got his own pirates. He's kind of doing his own thing. And the whole time, Jennings is kind of trying to thread a line. He's trying to walk a line of not pissing off England, staying in the good graces of the bureaucrats and the people who still have ties to England, basically trying to thread the needle of not going illegal and getting letters of marque and allowing the governor to basically sick him as a dog and staying in the good graces of the crown.
And then, so then once we get into episode 2, it goes back to Nassau and begins to show how this empty, forgotten city is now a thriving Mos Eisley. You know what I mean? Like it is like a thriving
with characters like
Blackbeard shows up.
Share screen.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. That was good.
And we're Teach.
Yeah. Who would later be called and his
first mate,
Black Caesar right here.
Yeah. So there's Black Caesar, there's Edward. Some people call him Edward Thatch. It all depends.
Which I think they use
the man of many names,
isn't it? They use Thatch in this.
He introduces himself as Teach the first time he shakes hands with Hornigold, and then he's Thatch the rest of the episode. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh no, I did not notice that.
Yeah.
So he's probably 23 maybe at this time, 24.
He's a little older. We say older, but not older by today's imagination.
So he comes to find Benjamin in Nassau saying, "Teach me, man, teach me."
Yeah, he wants to learn. And Hornigold laughs at that. He's like a pirate apprentice, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they don't really mention. They do, at least not in the first 3 episodes. Did they mention Stede Bonnet? No, I think that comes later.
Not in the first 3.
Yeah. So I think that comes later.
I brought this up when we were all backstage, but X-Wing wasn't here yet. Now, if you haven't watched it yet, X-Wing does an incredible video in the history of pirates for Ned Lowe. Definitely go watch it. But I'm curious, did anyone else find it interesting that everyone keeps like borrowing the first half of Ned Lowe's famous "Raise a black flag" and declare
"Raise a black flag, raise a black flag"?
Yeah, everyone kept saying it. And every time I saw it, all I could think of is actually going, "Raise a black flag and declare war on the world."
It is kind of interesting how Benjamin was able to keep some kind of order in Nassau for a little bit of time with the guy from England was still there, basically just shouting off into the wind. No one would listen to him while he's like,
the
mayor of Nassau. Yeah.
He would show up and like, "What's going on here? You guys need to leave." He'd write letters and no one would listen to him.
No one cared.
Yeah.
Well, I think that kind of shows just how much the court and the King of England just didn't care. They all they wanted was to keep peace. Because even though they had come out of the war richer than than Spain had, war cost them a lot of money. And that's why in 50 years later, after the third French and Indian War, they lose the English colonies.
Well, I don't think it had affected their pocketbooks quite enough yet. If you want to get them to pay attention, you hit them in the books. That's how you get England to pay attention, and that hadn't quite happened yet. So, yeah, I think, Jay, to your point, Jay, I think if he'd have tried to really control these guys and put them all under one flag and say, like, this is my thing, this is all me, he would have lost control rapidly. But, yeah, he does kind of set this. It's like America before America.
Mm-hmm.
He creates this republic of pirates, and people start flocking in like crazy. And Bonnie shows up.
Yep, she shows up at the beginning of the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked, you gonna say something?
No,
everybody wants you to talk about something. Everyone in the chat's like, Wicked.
Sorry, I liked this Anne Bonny story in this because it was a few things that I've never heard of before. I know we did the video on Anne Bonny and I've done research on her, but I didn't know. Or I forgot. I don't know. There's a lot of history here, but I didn't know that her husband, if this is true, I don't know if it's in the book, that he wanted to be a pirate. Like he was like a wannabe pirate. And he married her for her money. But then she got cut off. So she's like, I'm going to be a pirate. So I didn't know that. And I also didn't know about, I don't want to go too far, actually. I'm going to stop here. But a relationship that she has with somebody in Nassau. Yeah, we'll leave that. I think that's episode 3. So we'll save that. But it was interesting seeing, little tidbits of her. She's another one of my favorites, Anne Bonny. She's very, very strong and a tough woman, especially back then when women weren't even allowed on when women weren't allowed on ships and she was running it.
Yeah.
At some point, having babies and then going up.
Oh yeah.
up and fighting crazy.
That is one of the things that I really enjoyed about this. We did in the last 4 weeks we've done Benjamin Hornigold, and who was the first one when we kind of started everything back up?
Wasn't it Hornigold?
Was it Benjamin?
Last week was Bartholomew Roberts.
Well, okay,
yes,
Benjamin Hornigold and Bartholomew Roberts.
Yeah,
but a couple of these, it's been months, and so one of the really fun things about this show so far has been kind of remembering all these things that we researched and learned and things like that. But one of the things that I thought that was, in my opinion, my favorite thing about this show so far has been, and Jay, if you'll share my screen real quick, we've talked at length of pirates taking over these ships, but we can only imagine the size of these ships. I feel like we all in our head have like the Victory in mind when we picture a ship. But look at this. This is Sam Bellamy's first ship taking on a merchant vessel. And look at the size difference.
Yeah, it's like a galleon and a sloop.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think is so funny about this is you've got instances where these pirate ships were like a little bit better than a rowboat. And they were just wreaking havoc across the Caribbean because of just how low guarded these merchant vessels were.
Well, a lot of times, like, they just gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they didn't want to die.
Was this where? So Sam Bellarmine is trying to get in with someone. So he finds
he wants to meet Benjamin Hornigold.
Right. So he finds Henry Jennings first.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, we got a little crew here. We're trying to look for gold. He realizes that Henry Jennings has struck gold. Henry Jennings in the show finds where it's crazy because the Spanish already found their treasure fleet and they were picking it out of the water and putting it all in boxes and containers ready to be shipped.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jennings shows up and makes fun of their language and just kills people. And and then he goes, I'm just going to, hey, look, they box it up nice for us. We're just going to take it all.
Well, so it's that probably actually starts the Golden Age.
Because and another war.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes Spain complain to England. So
right.
I don't think Spain cared about Hornigold, taking 1 in 10 ships. but it's the loss of their treasure to Jennings that really makes Spain angry.
Yeah, and you hear Hamilton say that kind of when he comes back. He says, you know, this ain't a boo-boo. This is an act of effing war.
Yeah. And so then you got Sam Bellamy, who's like, okay, I'm just trying to make some money to get back. And he goes, oh, there's Jennings. Hey, how do we prove ourselves? And he goes, this is where the smartness of Bellamy shows up, where he's just like, all right, listen, if we take this ship and prove ourselves, they'll invite us on the crew and we'll be good. And like, they'll trust us. Okay, no problem. So Sam Bellamy has the picture that you showed, I believe, him and his crew stripped butt naked and acted like crazy people, like a bunch of crazy savages people,
So
and they're like screaming. And
that was when Bellamy when he had captured a slave ship.
Yeah.
And that's how he captured the Wida.
Yeah.
Way further down the line.
Yeah. That's
stay on the timeline. Stay on the timeline.
Yeah. But he proves himself to Jennings, but this whole time Bellamy's trying to prove himself to Benjamin.
The wrong guy. Yeah. So this was not. It's the same episode where they're chased down. I thought it was Jennings. Was it Jennings that chased down Bellamy's ship? Who was it? And they outran them.
That's a little later. That's a little later.
Was it episode 3?
That's Benjamin, I think. He chases down
Benjamin that chases him down. Okay.
So he's talking about when they sidle up and he and who I'm sorry, what was his friend's name again?
No,
I'm right.
Yes. So Benjamin, if you share my screen real quick, this ship that Jennings is looking at is this vast merchant ship that he wants to take. He's already met up with Bellamy, and Bellamy's like, hey, let us prove our worth.
Right.
We take it for you. And so they go and take it.
Naked.
Then leave. They say, bye-bye, Jennings.
Yeah, well, they don't know that yet because Benjamin is there. And Jennings like, oh, that's Benjamin? Like, let's chase him down. And then he looks at Charles Vane and he goes, once we capture him, he's all yours, Charles Vane. Do whatever you want to him. And then that is when Sam Bellamy's like, they trust us. They're leaving. They're chasing down Benjamin Hornigold. So we're going to steal all their treasure and leave. So they're chasing down Benjamin Hornigold. Hornigold outruns them. And Jennings like, all right, let's stop. We're not going to catch them.
Yeah.
And then
back to the summary.
They go to the next. They go there like one of their guys are all tied up downstairs. They're like, they stole everything.
Yep.
Sam Bellamy stole it all. And Sam Bellamy has now become friends with Benjamin.
Double crossed him.
Yeah, double cross him. That's just how smart Bellamy was. He was able to do.
And seeing at least the way he was described, it doesn't seem like he would really enjoy being on Jennings' ship because of just how bad he was, like with the torturing and the killing, and he just didn't live by that code. So it probably made it even more so where he's like, I'm not going to be like him. I'm going to be the opposite.
Yeah, he had seen the brutality that Jennings was capable of, especially with Charles Vane as his kind of attack dog.
Yeah.
And didn't want to be a part of it. He had a moral compass.
Yeah, because he was doing this to get married and settle down and probably be a farmer. You know, he wasn't trying to.
He wanted riches so that.
Money. Yeah,
it's kind of like the people that they go to the casino or something. They go, okay, I just need this much, and then I want to go. I got other stuff I want to go do.
So now that Henry Jennings has stolen all this treasure, the word has got back to England, and England has decided that they were going to arrest the governor of Jamaica and lock him in irons and bring him back for trial, which I think he was killed over for letting pirates, letting Jennings do this.
And Jennings was on the list as well. Jennings and his crew.
So Jennings goes back to Jennings has a massive plantation on Jamaica. Jennings goes back to freaking Nassau, and they all start laughing at him, saying, the governor got arrested, and now they're looking for you, buddy.
He has nowhere to go. He has nowhere else to go except right back to the people who just ripped him off.
Yep.
How embarrassing,
Yeah.
as Yoda would say.
Yeah. What's up, Knee Pain?
What's up,
I'm
Knee
wearing my
Pain?
Vindicta t-shirt right now, brother. God bless
Shout
you.
out,
And I know
dude.
I got others. You know, while we're doing this, let me catch up. So, you guys have been absolutely amazing today. Risk it, sorry I'm late, Captain. Got restrained in Tortuga. All right, as long as you bring an
you're
extra
free.
ration of rum with you, you're all good.
Aye.
Wizard Man for 2, another good documentary is Real Pirates on Amazon. Yeah, we'll be looking into that as well. Maximus for $5 says Hoist the Colors.
My
You
God,
got it,
man,
man.
have those feet looked at.
Yeah, I don't know what that's the fungus running around the ship, sir.
Aye.
That's what we're having to clean up.
It's not on my ship. It's clean. Just saying.
Chelsea says you guys should go to Shipwreck Museum in Key West. Oh, I'd love to do that.
That'd be awesome.
No, where?
Charles Vane said, "Did someone say my name?" Yes, we did. Llama Pajama says, "If I have gold in my if I have gold, I'm horny. Does that make me horny gold?" I'll let you work that out between you and God. And Knee Pain for 2. I'm wearing my Vindicta shirt. Shout out Knee Pain.
God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So do it.
The long sleeve
yeah,
shirt
we
is
are
awesome.
we are talking about. I don't know how we're gonna pull this off, but we might. We are talking about doing a meetup in St. Augustine when the book launches.
That'd be
so.
To be fair, X-Wing's the only one you have to worry about. I'm pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not about being close. It's about yes, I can go. That's the main thing. I get X-Wing there. We'll throw him on a plane.
Oh, I'll be there.
You know, I'll take care of that. We'll get him
Give
down.
me a date,
so.
and I'll put in for the PTO.
We'll go live again, and we'll be like, all the super chats are going to go to bring X-Wing to the thing, and then we'll just cover it. You know, look, Dingus said he'll be there. I think Lulu said she would come. So
picture.
What?
Lulu's coming for the
Dingus.
chicken.
I know, no more Snow White. There's enough Snow White talk.
Yeah, we're pirates.
Yeah,
that'd be incredible.
We'll make it happen. We'll definitely make. Doug said he'll be there. Yeah, we'll make it happen. I'd go for sure. Look at that. We already got like a bunch of people.
Oh,
yeah.
Eldridge said he'll go.
Hail
JD
the
says,
tattoo crew.
I'm there. Are you laughing though? Are you seriously?
Man, I need to get down there.
St. Augustine is about a 4-hour drive for me, so I'll try to make it. That's awesome.
That's nothing. That's easy.
There we go.
Hokey says he'd show up for Wicked.
Jay can't.
Most people would probably show up for Wicked.
This is what we'll do. We'll all organize. Everyone will follow Jay. Jay will have like one of those things he carried that the elevator school.
It'd be a little pirate flag.
Yeah, he'll carry it, and we'll all follow him. Follow me now, guys.
That's funny.
Your ticket to get in will be a Vindicta shirt. That's how we know you're part of the crew.
He'll show us. Now, this is the statue that everyone rubs a certain part of.
Anyways.
Back to the summary.
I'm just saying, just a little quick break, you know.
No, it's fine. We probably aren't going to be able to.
St. Augustine's got a pretty gnarly pirate museum, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Probably the best one I've ever been to.
Really? I have to make it to the I call it the Wida, but that's not what they called it in the show. And now I second guess myself every time I say it.
Wida, right?
The Wida.
Wida, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard
that's
it
up in
Wida
Boston,
by so many
man.
people. Yeah, I know, but I gotta fly
I'd love
out
to go there
next
too.
month.
That could be another road trip one day for us. Field trip.
So in the second episode, they had an increase of the colonial authorities, you know, like as we said, those guys got arrested. And then what's really weird is Jennings kind of disappears.
Yeah, Jennings goes, you know what? There's one place left. The crown has come down. I cannot go back to the Bahamas, but there's one place that I can go. I hate him to my soul, but there's one place. So he goes to Nassau.
Yeah, but he doesn't stay though, man. He leaves.
Right, but that becomes his home base because there becomes this reality that Benjamin realizes, look, I've got my guys, he's got his guys.
Yeah.
And we cannot war. If we fight each other, they win.
Yeah.
And Benjamin is a Brit. He is loyal to the king. That's why that's one of the reasons why his crew really dislike him at some points because he will not attack a ship bearing the Union Jack. So
what's interesting was that one scene where Jennings, is like causing a ruckus. I think this was before.
When they're at the bar?
Yeah, and then Vane grabs Hornigold with a knife, and then you see Blackbeard like coming up behind Jennings with the gun. So they kind of
it was Teach, it was Hornigold, and that's right when Jennings shows up. And then he insults Vane. Vane pulls out a gun and points it at Teach, and Black Caesar comes up with a knife and holds it up to his throat. And that's where you see this, like they talk about it, this tense kind of alliance. Not really an alliance, but at least a truce between everyone, knowing that they have to get along. They don't really have a choice. They don't have a choice.
Yes.
And this is where we first start to begin to see almost, I won't call it a deterioration, but a difference in paths between Sam Bellamy and Hornigold in terms of what they're willing to do. Sam Bellamy says, I don't care. I want money. Like, screw it. I don't care what's out there. I just want money. Hornigold's got a little moral compass about the Union Jack and the flag, and his crew is saying it's a German on the throne. He doesn't even speak English. Screw that sausage eater. Let's go get whatever we want. And so some of the crew are starting to think maybe I should be with Bellamy. We're here to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Grand Potato says, can we please do some things in Alaska? I'm so far away from everyone.
I would love that.
Closer to me. Let's go salmon fishing. Eh?
Never know. Thanks for modding, Lulu. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna play Sea of Thieves after the live stream. So then Jennings is broke, losing his friends, and we see the rise of Charles Vane. Because Vane is just angry.
Psychotic.
He's a psycho. Yeah, he's like your troubled inner city kid.
Yeah.
That dude definitely killed animals as a small kid.
100%. I mean, public execution was a form of entertainment at that point in London. It was brutal. Everyone was poor. They were pooping in the streets. It was violent. It's just terrible place to grow up.
Yeah.
Then we get. Go, Wicked, go.
No, I was gonna say you could see. Okay, it's not okay as violent as Charles Vane was, but you can understand why his head was so messed up because of his upbringing and seeing authority. You know, he looked up to these pirates. At least they made it seem that way, and he sees them getting killed by authority. So he's like, I'm not listening to nobody. Like nobody's bossing me around. And
I think that was the big appeal when, like, freedom of the seas, man. Like, there's no price. You know, we all live in America. It's like we don't realize how good we have it here. You know,
I realize it.
I just made a general statement that most people, when you visit other countries and some other states, you know, it's like don't realize like the freedom that some people have, and being like kind of oppressed in the dirty streets of England at the time. And let's be honest, they just were. They did public executions all the time if you fell out of line. If the authorities didn't like you or they thought you were plotting, they would just kill you. They'd make an example of you to try to keep fear. And it's like the thought of I'm free on the sea. No one's telling me I could be who I want to be on the sea, you know?
You answer to no one.
And then, make a little money on the side. And it's like, if I want women, I can buy some women. If I want a nice meal, I can get a nice meal. If I need something, I take it. You know, it's like I could see how that was so appealing to so many. But then we get into episode 3, the price of loyalty. And England did something, and I don't know how much time we'll spend on this, but England did something unbelievable that no one saw coming. When one man says, listen, I got an idea on how you can stop all these pirates. Yeah, what's that? Pardon all of them. Tell them whatever they did, it's free of charge. Let's start over. Let's make amends. Let's
and what you said about the freedom thing, the thing that's even funnier or interesting about this is you've got 2,700, even more, 17,000 men who've spent 10 years being relatively completely free. And suddenly they have taxes to pay, they have rules to obey, they have people showing up and saying, "What have you been doing? Why are you this?" And I think that's what drew them to Nassau, is this sense of the freedom that they had for so long.
Something interesting in this book too. It talks about like even pirates might have started the revolution to create America.
I 100% believe that
because of the taste of freedom.
Yeah,
explain.
So,
I mean, it was the first republic.
Yeah,
it was the first republic. You're talking mere 56 some odd years really before this whole thing takes shape. We see the first republic, and I would say that it's not out of the imagination of possibility that this had a massive influence on the formation of America. Massive influence. And lest we forget, we were stealing stuff. The pirates, we were stealing stuff from the English and trading it back to the colonies for money. And they're like, yo, this is kind of dope.
When you say start, do you mean like the idea of the pirate?
Like put a bug that we could be free from England? Like
Yeah.
put a bug in people's ear? Like we could be free from
absolutely.
the king.
Oh, 100%.
You know, we could be
Totally
free
down
from the
with that.
king and trade as we will. Because listen, I'm not speaking bad of Charleston, but they were big into taking pirate booty. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Pirates would show up and they're like, all right, look, I got a big bag of sugar. I'll give it to you for $1. Don't let England sell it to you. They're selling it to you for 12. They're like, yeah, we'll take Blackbeard's money. We'll take Blackbeard's sugar and cocoa and all that stuff. So just keep getting it and we'll just look the other way. Like,
well,
yeah.
and talk about putting a seed in somebody's mind when they hear the letters go out and they pardon every single one of them. They go, pirates got pardoned?
Yeah.
We might be able to push these guys around a little bit. You know what I mean? Now we're on the negotiating table. But
I will say this though, that was freaking genius to give them all a pardon.
They didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
They couldn't bankroll another war.
Obviously we don't want to go too far into episode 3 since it kind of sounds like where it's going to start, but they really started hitting them. This is my only issue with the show so far, is they really make it feel like piracy was about one thing, and it obviously was not. They really make it seem like, or at least in the 3rd episode, they kind of make it seem like it was about going after slave ships. And it really wasn't. It was whatever ship was available.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they made their money.
Yeah.
So even if it was just small fishing vessels, they would take all the fish and just take it to shore and sell it. So it's like, hey, there's a ship up there. They just gave up. What do they got in there? A bunch of mackerel. All right, just take it. Anybody want to join my crew? Yeah, I'll join. All right, you can come. The rest of you never saw us. So,
well, I think so right after kind of where we just left off, the most important thing that I think that happens here is we start to see the dissolution, the breakup of kind of the original gang. So this is where we start to see the pirates spread out on their own and start making their own legends. Is what we referenced earlier, where we said that Bellamy was essentially the one going after whatever they wanted to go after. And through his own law that he created, this republic, this democracy, Hornigold gets voted out as the Commodore.
Yep.
His own crew votes him out. And guess who takes his place?
Sam Bellamy.
Sam Bellamy. Yep.
Not a bad choice.
Well, Hornigold takes the pardon.
Well, this is before we're way back on that. But this births, we see
it's the rise of Blackbeard too, and Charles
so,
Vane and all that stuff that are like, I'm not taking that. Like,
so after Bellamy takes command, Hornigold.
Are we going into 3?
We
already started.
In 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what's wrong with you?
Hornigold gets voted out, and he basically asks Blackbeard, what are you gonna do? And he says, I'm loyal to you 100%. And Hornigold says, you know what? I will never forget this. I'm going to get you your own boat, and I'm going to make you captain.
They showed like
very important thing.
They showed like Stede Bonnet like a big fat job. They showed him like sitting there on a stump.
You say jolly? Big fat
He
jolly?
looked like Santa Claus in the from what I remember, he looked like he was just kind of sitting on a stump.
Yeah, I think that's 4.
Oh, maybe that, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's 4. So yeah, they bring John King comes in.
Yeah. All right, well, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna finish this up. We're gonna continue on the Pirate Kingdom on the next live stream. So we might have to do a longer live stream next time we're together just to kind of get through. But overall, let's what did you feel about the overall episode, like show in general? We could start with the Commodore and work our way around.
I love it. It's great. I think essentially what they were trying to do with that the Republic book was make just a much more palatable version of a general history of pirates, and then also try to add some weight behind it in terms of historical accuracy, which I always appreciate. And I think they've done a lovely job with the show of not shying away from anything too graphic, not shying away from anything too brutal or language or anything like that, but also not getting so fantastical with it. The characters are not believable.
Should we finish episode 3 today? Should we just finish it?
I mean, we're pretty close.
We are pretty close.
All right, let's say we'll go up to episode 3.
Yeah,
I just was like, I'm good. Like I can keep going, but I just want to make sure
the big thing
time
is the
is okay.
So we have the breakup where Sam Bellamy takes over, and then Hornigold is basically left now with a defunct, a couple ships or whatever it is, and basically tells Teach, "I'm going to get you your own boat. We're going to rebuild this thing. It's fine, whatever." And there's no conflict. There's no problem between him and anybody else. So they just part ways.
Did they show John King right in episode 3?
Yeah. Yes, right? That was a really cool part. And kind of explaining this whole I mean, I guess it's technically his entire story is pretty quickly explained. He just ends up being this young kid that has such a huge fascination with pirates.
Yeah.
And his mother, or actually I think it was his guardian, is just like, no, you can't be a pirate. What are you talking about? You're like 12.
Yeah.
And
hey, I want to do it.
And he asks, what's his face? Hey, can I do it? And the guy's like,
Sam Bellamy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Bellamy.
He goes,
yeah.
I want to be a pirate. Can I be a pirate? He goes, you want to be a pirate?
Why not?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I think there's so much like lore in that little showdown. Number one, if a child, I mean, a different history set has him from 9 to 12, right?
Yeah.
As a child to want to be, and every amount of history that I have found on John King, it all states the same, that he wanted to leave his mother to be a pirate, which could only mean that pirates were so, at the time, romanticized as almost maybe looking as heroes, folklore heroes. And they were probably telling stories about pirates that were over exaggerated, things like that. For him to even know what it is, to him to even want to join a crew, and like be a part of something, it's quite telling. Like what was happening in the world during this, as far as pirates go, because and then this also tells the story on how much power the mother actually has on their children or on their sons.
That much.
Because it was like, I'm not staying with you, Mom. I'm going to be here. And Sam's like, sure, you can be a man now. You'll be
whatever. Yeah.
I'm going to go with the strange man that I don't know, but because he's a man,
you should be making a salary.
Yeah. They
And
probably
it's like-
looked at pirates like rock stars,
Yeah, I mean, dude, you got to think about how quickly did they write a general history of pirate? 10 years after, basically the close of the golden age of piracy. So very romanticized, very romanticized.
But there were children on boats because they had their hands were smaller and they can like load
Powder
the
monkeys
guns and all that stuff.
Powder
So
monkeys, yep.
yeah.
super common in the English Navy.
I mean, even in like the time of Civil War, they hired children to like beat the quarters and all that stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like drummer boy. They're like, send the drummer boy up to the front line, and that way,
100%, dude. Yeah, there's cannonballs flying past their heads. You're firing at shoulder level, Johnny. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
well, that was kind of it was understood. You don't aim for the kid.
Yeah, those guns weren't very accurate.
Oh, true.
I know that, but it's such a weird thing
Wild.
to say. It's like, it's like put him up in the front. Like no one will shoot at him. He's a child, but it's like
who else is gonna play the drum?
It's like war. It's like, what do you?
Different time.
And then to have like your family members go, oh, it's such an honor. Walk up there, Billy, and just stand there.
Try not to get shot.
And that went for the same person that held the flag. Like they didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
You held the colors and you just walked up and you just, hey, I held the flag.
We used to war pretty dumb. We were pretty dumb about war for like a very long time.
It was all about honor.
Honor, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's and saying all that, going back to there was some pirates that had such an honor system and a code of morals on a pirate ship was really, it's fascinating, it's fascinating to even think that, that's all I'm.
Well, they didn't have a whole lot of honor when they got off the boat. So in this episode, I don't know how much of this is true or how much of it was in the book, but Anne Body was banging everyone basically at this point, just trying to find out who the next top dog was going to be, and kind of hanging on with it. So she starts messing around with Teach, and we learn a little bit more about Blackbeard, that he was actually a very educated man. He spoke Latin, he could read, he could write, and they say it, that was the exception, not the rule, that somebody could even read, not to mention write and speak Latin. So I thought that was a really cool tidbit. That's actually something I didn't remember at all. And then they have a really great scene with him and Black Caesar, who's somebody I have tremendous interest in as a pirate, because we don't know anything about him until he shows up as the first mate for Blackbeard. There's all kinds of fun stories about him being like some kind of a Nigerian prince or something before he gets sold into slavery. Just a lot of mysticism about that guy. And the two of them make an odd combo, a really odd combo. And so it's awesome to see.
Maybe that's why he was so successful, because he was an intelligent man.
Yeah, a well-educated
intellectual
man.
Yeah, Black Caesar was such a the history that we have on Black Caesar. I mean, there's different, like you said, there's different stories. One, that he was helping capture slaves for slave ships and being paid healthy, until one day the Spanish just were like, oh, he's a
put him on
guy. Like, let's just take him. He could run the plantation. So he gets captured and befriends a non-slave on the ship while he's chained up. And then the ship hits a hurricane or a bad storm, and he gets set free. A lot of people die on the ship, and the guy that he befriended, they're in a rowboat. And then another ship picks them up, and they take over the ship.
Yep.
And they realize this is good for business. So they had an island where they kept everything, and Black Caesar would row out on a rowboat like, hey, I'm lost. And then another ship would pick him up, and then they'd rob the ship. And he ended up with Blackbeard eventually. The crazy thing about Anne Bonny, so that what this show says about Anne Bonny, says in comes Anne Bonny, who's 16 years old, who's already married to James Bonny, who is the child of an affair that a father had with a cleaning lady, and that the father dressed her up as a boy to pass her off as a boy as an apprentice in his lawyer business.
Yep.
So she's
right under the nose of his mother.
Yeah.
Or her mother.
She just had enough and got married at 16. and moved into a brothel in the Bahamas.
Well, they moved to America. They moved to America.
Yeah.
So the dad lied and then took Anne Bonny's actual mother, moved to America, got like crazy loaded, was making a whole bunch of money, and then dipped out and went down there. But something she says in that episode was that with all of his wandering, he wound up making his way into my bed as well. So no love lost on the dad relationship there.
Yeah.
I understand her getting out of there for sure. It's horrible.
She did what she had to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a theme with her history. Yeah, that's what makes her so interesting. Well, many things, but she gets things done.
She's definitely got a fascinating psychology when it comes to how she thinks about men, and I don't blame her at all because her dad was a horrible person. Her husband was kind of a wimp, and then she's spending time in the presence of dudes like Benjamin Hornigold and Teach. It's like your worldview of what men are like is just wild, you know? So,
At 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, she says, I came into my womanhood. I'm like, you're a child.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like, that's freaking crazy. I mean, because you just kind of compare to like, what are 16 and 17-year-olds doing now? They're on TikTok, like complaining about Tesla cars at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, Llama Pajama says, I got to hit the hay. Have a good night, y'all. Have a great night.
Llama.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the for the bonus super chats. I appreciate you, man. Grand Potato says the bicycle of Nassau Anne Bonny.
Yeah, the community. She was just always looking for the next thing, the next big thing.
She was trying to find adventure and riches, and her husband wasn't doing it.
No.
Who I later on in the show, you find out the husband's a real turd and how serious marriage was back then.
Yeah.
So I can't for 5, sir. I looked at the sales, but I'm not cleaning them, not even touching them. I now know why you didn't need toilet paper in the past several months.
Turns out he does wipe.
You went there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Just dry off in the wind. Also in the third episode, we see that Sam Bellamy's Bonnie Lass has given birth to a child and has been condemned by all. And I believe it was the third episode that they stole the child away from her.
That's very much a rendition of the Scarlet Letter.
And that is when everything within me was like, all right, Sam, you got to get back. You got to get back with your ship and your men and like hold it down, man. Like be the hero. This lady has been thrown out on the street. Her child has been ripped away. She probably wasn't more than 16, 17 years old either.
I think she was 19.
19?
If I'm not mistaken, but I'm digging.
And, you know, she's lost her family. She's lost her shelter. She's lost her security. She becomes like a screaming lady of the streets, you know? And
well, at this point, she had the baby. She's still with the baby. And then in this episode, at this point, the baby passes in her care.
Mm-hmm. Because
dies.
She gets accused of killing the baby.
And she gets accused of getting rid of the baby because the baby's out of wedlock. We're a little ahead, a little bit, kind of.
There's a big event we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh yeah, go for it.
We meet what is probably the most well-known captured ship of any pirate's career.
Yeah, so we're in dry dock in London.
What would that be, X-Wing?
The Widow.
The Widow.
So we get this really cool exposition about this ship. It's the most modern ship. It's the fastest for the amount of cargo that it can carry.
Made 2 ship slaves. Prior to this moment, most slave ships had been merchant ships that slavers had bought and converted to ship slaves. But this ship was made exclusively for that. So it was one of the fastest merchant ships on the planet. It could berth 300 slaves.
Yeah, this is terrible.
And 20 guns or 40 guns?
20 guns. He eventually puts 48 guns on it.
Yeah, he clears the top.
Which I think is one of the reasons why it gets destroyed in the hurricane.
Top heavy.
Well, yeah, I think it was a little top heavy.
Oh man, I can't. They won't let me.
Share your screen.
Is
Yeah.
it not? Yeah.
Nope.
See, that's what I was Netflix. Yeah.
Give me a time. You won't.
Freaking
Give me a
bias.
timestamp.
Wow.
You can go to 2946.
I was doing the layout of the ship, which
Oh, I thought you wanted the widow.
yeah, it was her, but it was that's the extra ship. But they had the plans of it of the.
Oh yeah, it's
Are you
horrible.
online or on the app?
It's
just the
terrible.
normal slave picture you're talking about. The one we all
Of the ship, of the the bows of the ship, where it shows that it could hold like hundreds of.
like right. Hang on, we mute it.
Just
How
horrible.
about right now?
No, that's not it.
I know which one you're talking about. It's the cross section, the
Yeah.
old drawing.
Yeah, it's a drawing picture. All right, now you're gonna get my stream taken down.
I don't think it was playing that long.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's a horrible depiction.
It's a drawing of like the inside of the ship.
Yeah, so top down looking bow to stern, the levels were so short that they often couldn't sit up. So you would be laying chained to the floor, shoulder to shoulder, sometimes overlapping, for 4 months, 5 months during the transatlantic crossing.
It's the picture we've all seen. We've all seen this picture in our history books. It's the one of literally every single free space that was about 3 feet or more was filled with a slave.
Yeah.
And they're pooping all over each other.
Yeah.
It is timestamp 27:30. Yeah, it was horrible, and that was the Wida Galley.
So it was the Wida. So something I kind of love about the story of Sam Bellamy is that the English created this horrible machine that was going to do
Wow.
that was going to do horrible things on this planet. And thanks to Sam, this thing goes out, sails down to Africa, unfortunately is able to complete one trip.
Yep.
And then as it's headed back towards England, it's not going to head back with an empty hold, is it?
No.
It's a triangle trade.
Yep.
So they go down to Africa, they go into the Caribbean or to the Americas, and then back to England. But when they go back to England, they're carrying a load
of sugar.
Treasure.
Full of sugar. One of the most expensive resources on the planet at that time.
Not on that trip. The Widow was filled with gold. Solid gold.
Yeah, because they sold.
Yeah, they went Bahamas, picked up the sugar, and went to the Americas. That's right. Sorry, I missed a leg.
So, Bellamy. Here's pray tell.
And how did he do it, X-Wing?
Man, talk about another crafty individual. So he knows that the ship is a slaving ship. Knows he's going to have a fight on his hand because you've got this ultimate weapon now of the seas, this super fast ship that's laden with 20 guns. So it's not going to be an easy fight. Chases it for 3 days, over 300 miles. You have to realize that at 3 days chasing a ship down, there's a point where you go, it's probably not a good idea. Like, I don't know how much food we've got left. Yeah, I don't know how much food we've got left. We may have to turn back. How close do we get to the United Kingdom before they send ships out to try to, stop us? Whatever the case is, before we run into a British patrol. Chases it down on pure gut instinct. And then as he's coming up to the ship, he takes some of the recently freed slaves that he's got, and he goes, take your shirts off, strap some guns to your chest, hold up a sword, and go buck wild. And so they're on the deck like, ah! Ah! And this guy who just transported a full load of slaves from Africa is now looking behind him and sees him and goes, what are those guys going to do to me if they catch this ship? They're going to rip me apart.
Will that work?
Piece.
Or is that too revealing?
What?
I pulled it up. I pulled the scene up. It's not too bad.
No, it looks like a
but yeah. But as you can
did you just say butt?
As you can
What?
probably see, they weren't just wearing breeches. Some of them were wearing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
A tactic he'd used in the past. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
this guy was really, Sam Bellamy was really, really, really good about he didn't really want bloodshed. We know that
No.
he didn't really want bloodshed, but he was also really good at freaking people out and just getting them to put their guns down. That's what he did.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why he was as successful as he was. I think he played mind games with people. And as opposed to some other captains, instead of charging in head on to blades and bullets, he was able to get these guys to put up their hands, and they just walked in and took what they want and left. That's a great pirate captain. I would want to serve with him, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. And so now he's got the greatest ship ever built at that time.
Yeah, it's greatest naval. Obviously, there are much better military ships, but they
We also completely skipped him taking the Sultana, by the way, which was incredibly important.
the British Navy didn't really care. Like they were still kind of just this annoyance that would pop up every now and then. But it wasn't until this started happening, and this is my only fault with the show, is that they do seem, at least in this episode, to make it seem like the only reason the Navy cared or the Admiralty cared was because of the loss of slaves to the people in Parliament. But from everything that I've seen and read, it was much more of a, okay, this just shows that they are a threat to trade. We know that they're a threat to trade. We need to do with something, but this was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
It wasn't just because they had been going after slaves.
Yeah, no, there were letters that had been written all the way back to when Hornigold first showed up on Nassau. So yeah, they'd been hearing about it for sure. But yeah,
Governors have been writing for how long is it at this point?
6 years, maybe.
I just know, like
10 to no, not even close. 3.
The word kind of got out that he stole the Wida.
Yeah, well, that was because what happened,
and then that kind of like spurred other people, like, oh my gosh, Sammy got it.
Yeah,
let's go get ours, man, before this thing is done.
I think it's a little over 2 years.
Yeah,
at this point. And so the capture of the Wida, because of how advanced this was, what it did is it accelerated insurance prices.
Yeah.
And so all of these ships ended up not being able to set sail because the owners couldn't afford the insurance.
Yep.
Thanks for
That's kind of how the episode ends.
Yeah.
Well, we get introduced to one scarred-faced, beautiful man.
And who would that be, Commodore?
My greatest enemy, Woodes Rogers.
Yeah.
And it is. I'll tell you this. So this was my favorite episode because the first two are a lot more documentary like. This one, it feels like they just let the actors cook, and I really liked it.
It's a big setup. This is the powder keg. This is where now, the crown knows what's going on. They're pissed off. Pirates are out pillaging. The powder keg is popped. Now it's every man for himself. What's going to happen? This is where pirates start dying. That's what I'll say.
Well, the other thing too, with the pardon, a lot of pirates stopped. So there was a couple there was a lot more pickings out there for these guys that decided to stay because, I think one of the numbers I saw was over 500 people took that pardon.
It is a massive amount of people
on the first week. So, there's a lot of, and then some of these pirates took it several times, as we learn.
They're like, sorry. And then they did it again. Like, okay, seriously, I'm done.
Well, and like I mentioned, I think during Hornigold's thing, there's only 2 pirates mentioned in the pardon, the first pardon, that were not allowed to take it. And I still need to look up who those 2 were. But everyone else was allowed to take the pardon. And like you said, Jay, several did many times.
Yeah.
They do something down here, sail up here, and take it again. Do something down here, and sail over here, and take it again.
Wicked, how was your thoughts overall on the series, if you don't mind?
The first 3 episodes, one series as a whole, I really enjoyed it because it's easy to digest in the way they did the episodes, and also for someone that might be interested in learning about pirates, but they can't like read the books or they can't keep paying attention. This is a great way to learn because they add the drama in it and like the Hollywood, I guess, that makes it a bit more fast paced and interesting if you just want to learn a little bit about the golden age of piracy. Thought it was really well done. I liked Sam Bellamy in it a lot, obviously, but the way they told his story and Anne Bonny, like I said, I learned a couple more things about her that I didn't even know. So I liked it a lot. Solid series.
So it's only 6 episodes, correct? Yeah. So the next
40 minutes each, right?
Yeah.
They're
45.
I think the first one's a little longer, but yeah, they're about 45 minutes.
So if you haven't watched it, watch it, because in 2 weeks we're gonna finish out. We're gonna do episode 4, 5, and 6 on our next live stream.
Also, can I just throw this in, Jay, really quick? Because we completely skipped over it.
No. Go. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. No, go for it. I know what you're talking about.
It's a very small portion of the episode, and it doesn't really get talked about a lot. But Sam Bellamy captures the Sultana, which was pretty much at that point one of the biggest ships that they had. He takes it as his flagship, and it starts with Bellamy now having big ships. Pirates didn't really have big ships. You didn't want a big ship. You had to get the heck out of there if you wanted to. But his capturing of the Sultana and making it his flagship is what enables him to take the Wida or the Wida, whatever you want to call it. I like the Wida better. So that was really important, and also something you should pay attention to for a book coming out fairly soon.
No
yes,
way.
And since we have some new people here, I'm gonna show you a little
Sir, they're here.
So be it.
Forgive me, Father.
So just so you're wondering, it is no longer a limited time design. We talked about this earlier on. I'm just going to say it really quick. Nine Line made a mistake by offering the Tailgater hoodie, which is also known as the beer hoodie, when we were selling the Vindicta merch. And if the merch had sold over 1,000 units total, we would have had a permanent place on our store. We didn't really hit that goal, but we were pretty close. But they had to refund a lot of people the Tailgater hoodie that people paid for because they made a mistake. Tyler, the CEO from Nine Line, got on the phone with me and just said, hey, man, we messed up. So we're going to make it up to you and all your people. And we're just going to leave the shirt in the store permanently. So, or at least for a few months is what they normally do. So if you missed out or you want to get some more, They have the regular hoodie, the zip-up hoodie, the women's, the men's, the long sleeve, the combo, and the hat. You could still use my code Drunk3PO20. And you could pick up a dead man's chest, do the whole pirate thing. We got bags and everything else in there. And a lot of the money goes to help veterans, support the 9 Line Foundation, which is here. If you're like, Jay, I'd like to help vets, but I don't want to buy your stupid shirt, you can still go to my page, click on there, and give it to yourself. It's totally fine. I am honored that they took our design. They normally don't do that because this is me and X-Wing's design. We own this, and they usually make their own. So some of the money goes to the vets, and we get a small portion, which is going to help this project. And all the super chats and the gifted memberships are also helping the Vindicta project as well. I mean, we're paying artists and all kinds of stuff. So making sure you have swords and coins and all this cool thing. So we really, really appreciate all your support.
A lot.
We really, really. And look at this. Lady Marine was, where is she? She said she ended up getting the tailgater hoodie. She got lucky. Yeah, I think they had like 20.
Nice.
I didn't get one.
I think they had like 20. So it was like the first people that nabbed it got it.
Lucky dog.
I definitely recommend the zip-up hoodie. I've been wearing mine all day. John says it's quality stuff. Lulu says we need sweats. All right. I got you.
I agree.
We're going to work on it. Hey, Lulu asked for a zip-up. I think it was you, Lulu. And I was like, I'm going to make it happen just for you. Nagranov says, I got my tailgater.
I was like, one of the first order, dude.
And ordered it late.
So,
it must be a sizing thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I'm probably a little bigger.
So,
Okay, me too.
but anyway, so those are available. And also, me, Kings, and Wicked will be playing Sea of Thieves in probably like 15 minutes on our respective channels. X-Wing's got something else he's got to do. He'll be joining us for another one soon enough. But I really appreciate you here. The mods have been dropping all the links to people's channels, so we'll see you then. We are done. Thank you for hanging out for another amazing, record-breaking 471 souls on this stream. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Incredible.
It is absolutely amazing. I don't know how to close it. I don't know what to play.
What are you trying to? Oh.
I like the song, man. I want to play the countdown again because the countdown is so.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, we're out. We'll see you in a little bit.
With stories we prevail. The history of pirates, our anchors never fail.
Thank you for being a first mate and listening to the Patches and Rum podcast. Now get back to your station or I'll send you to David Jones' locker.